All right, so I want to go ahead and take a little time today to discuss some finer details about making layouts and maps, cartography skills in ArcGIS Pro. What we have here is a map that Byron Phillips, the new land manager for Connecticut Incorporated, is making. His goal here is to make a map that will show layers for proposed evacuation routes and new housing as the Yupik village of Quinhagh moves further inland. So we see a lot of things here that are really useful and best practices for cartography for this type of project. One, he's got a nice insert map that shows us where Quinhagh's located. He's got an extent indicator that helps us zoom in. He's got that base map. It looks like when he sent me the project file, some of the individual layers didn't transfer, but that's easy to fix, and we're really focusing on layout here today. So what Byron was attempting to do was create a nice template that he can use again and again, and he wanted to go ahead and make a white insert box where he was storing his reference features like his legend, his map frame, and his north arrow. He reported a lot of frustration when he was doing this. He wasn't able to get the legend, for example, to show these layers, and he wasn't able to get the scale bar to really uncompress itself. And so let's take a look at what's going on here, and how we might fix it, and then how we'll turn this into a best practice whenever we're making future layouts. So as I can see here, Byron was not incorrect. The scale bar just isn't working well. And let's go over here into the element pane and look. A common problem that you can have is the fitting strategy. So if you have it, to set to adjust width and your box is too small, a lot of times you'll get a look like here. But he has, I think, a pretty appropriate scaling strategy or fitting strategy, and we can tell it's not even letting him make it any bigger. So it might be a problem actually in not the fitting strategy, but actually what this scale bar is referencing. So if we go over to the contents pane, we'll see that he has that dual scale bar, but we'll also see that it's referencing map frame 2. And one thing I really like about what Byron has done is he's gone ahead and labeled his insert map and his water intake map, so it's very clear to see where those are. Let's go ahead to the layout here, and we'll see that water intake here is that main map frame, and then we have that map, and that has got the extent indicator, very clear, but it's a little less clear what map frame 2 and map frame 1 are. So I'm going to go ahead and toggle off map frame 2. It looks like that's the white box where he wants to store all of his, things like the legend and the north arrow, and box 1 or map frame 1 is even, looks like it's this tiny thing over here. So let's go ahead and start by going back to the dual scale bar, and we'll see that he has it actually for map frame 2, which is that white box. So that's probably why it's so compressed. It's having troubles. So let's change that actually to what he probably wants, which is the map frame. Perfect. Now that's referencing this underlying base map here with his layers, the thing that it probably should. And let's make it a little bigger. Now it's nice and stretched out. And maybe I'll go ahead right here. And I don't like how kilometers and miles is kind of over top of each other. So I'm going to add like maybe a 1 or 2 point offset. There we go. I like that quite a lot. So this problem seemed to be more the reference of the scale bar to the correct map. And let's go overhead, go to our legend, and see if that's the same problem. So again, yeah, it looks like the legend is referencing this white box. So of course it can't populate any values. So I'm going to change that to the map frame. And now we have the right layers referenced. And I'm just going to double check and make sure the north arrow is also not referencing that white box. Okay, so we have all three things here. And I really like this idea of creating a white inset where everything is neatly, the title, everything is right there. You see that in a lot of professional USGS maps, things like that. But we probably don't want to use a map frame to do it. We probably actually want to just create a polygon text box. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to delete map frame 2 and I'm going to delete map frame 1. And then I'm going to go over here and I'm going to add a polygon. I'll make a pretty big one here, like that. Looks pretty good. And I am going to go ahead and I'm going to make the border outline just maybe a little thicker, like that. And I'm going to change the background to white. And I am now going to take these features and put them in. And remember that in GIS we have like layers of a cake, and so we have to be careful about which layer is in front and back. So the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to order this and I'm going to send it back all the way to the back. It's going to disappear for a second. Send to back. And then I'm going to go ahead and bring it forward once. And now I should be able to get my north bar or my arrow bar in here. I like that. Should be able to bring this in here. And I'll bring my legend. I might even make it a little smaller on the side here. I'll go ahead and bring that in there. And maybe for this, I'll make it just a bit taller. There, perfect. And this is where I could now go ahead and add a title, maybe a little description, play with the way that this looks a little bit, but you'll already notice if I move something like this, oh, it looks like he has a title right here. So I'm gonna bring that in here. I'll go ahead and make it a little easier to see. Perfect, and we could change the font size here. I think it would probably make sense to make it a little bigger since it's the title, so let's try 20. There we go, I like that quite a lot. And what we probably now want to do here is that we want to group all of these items, the legend, the scale bar, the text 1 and text 2. We want to go ahead and group those together so that text 2 doesn't look like it has anything in it. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that. And I'm even going to maybe change the name of this one, if possible, to title. And the last thing I want to do is I probably want to group all of these things together so that when I move the white box, every feature in here, the north arrow, the scale bar, the legend, the title, move with it. So to do that, I'll go ahead and hit Control and click or right click and highlight all of these things. I'll go to group and I'll group them together. Now I have a nice good group and you see that they jump underneath here. And now, hopefully, when I move, when I move these, they'll all move together. And it looks like the last thing I need to do is add this to the group as well. So I'll center it up the way I want it, like that right there. And I can go ahead and drag it in here. Okay, now I should be able to move all those things together. I'm going to go ahead and hit ungroup really quick and just try that one more time. Put that to